All right, hello students. We are going to be, let's get back to the beginning here, working on the notes for habitat versus niche. It's a one side of your paper there. You're going to be filling in as I go through the explanations, and then on the back of it, you will have a list of different types of symbiosis that you should look over so that you're familiar with them. There will be an activity that we will do together then to see how well you can kind of match out which type of symbiosis is there. So let's begin. So your notes are titled Unit 6, page 3, Habitat versus Niche Notes. How do ecologists organize and study life? We're going to be looking at some of these interactions. First thing we want to make sure you understand is what a habitat is, which is where an organism lives. And then the niche, we sometimes call it the job that the organism does. It's the role or position that an organism has in the environment. So here you can see there's a habitat, the anemone, but there might actually be a relationship between the anemone and Nemo. And Nemo has a niche, and the anemone has a niche or a role in this habitat here. So we think of an ecological niche of an organism depending on where it lives, but also on what it does. So the analogy that has been put together with this is habitats are your address where you live, but your niche is your profession or your job that you do. Within each ecosystem, there are habitats, which may vary in size. And a habitat, of course, is the place where the organism lives. The habitat must supply the needs of the organism, such as the food and the water, temperature, oxygen, and minerals. And if the population's needs are not met, then it will move to a better habitat, or I guess it could die. Habitats are specific to a population. Each has its own habitat. And I know as goofy or weird as this is going to look, please go to YouTube and watch this 2-minute video clip. Okay, so two different populations cannot occupy the same niche at the same time. However, you can have these processes of symbiosis, this working relationship that two organisms could have. And it can be often long-term between these two different species. On the back of your note sheet, you can see examples of some of those symbiotic relationships. Some of them are going to be obligate. That means both species depend entirely on each other for survival. Otherwise, it doesn't work. And some are going to be facultative, which means both species can live together. They don't have to live with the other organism, but there is some kind of a relationship that they have some point throughout their lives. All of the types of symbiosis can be divided into two groups, whether the organism lives inside of the other organism, such as an endosymbiosis, or whether the organisms do not live inside of each other. They live on the outside of the body, and that would be a type of ectosymbiosis. And then when you come up to see me, we are going to work on an activity to work on these relationships.